Okay, hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the Esther. I don't know what this game is, but free on Steam today. So we'll go ahead and play it. What we're gonna play, I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know if I should have director's commentary on or not. So I'm just gonna leave it without for now. And if we,
Dear Esther, the morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
So I'm about to say that this is a story-driven game, but it's randomly generated in terms of the story. So if I go into the water, it's not going to be about me being in the water and things like that. But I thought we'll go and play it today and see what it's like. Here we go. We'll zoom the left bit, zoom the right bit. Nice toilet you have here, sir. Very nice toilet. European Food and Cooks Convention in 1973. Tom Ryan. My name's here, but okay. And sweetness and honey and happiness together in yogurt. Interesting. Let's say. Can't actually say anything. Hi. That I don't really know. We'll go out the door. We'll move on and around this island, I think. Not really sure about this game. There's another door here. It is randomly generated, though, so it should be interesting to see how that plays into it. We go up to the top of this hill, I think. Cool lighthouse. It's a very, very cool island as well. Good day, ho. Got like a radio tower over there in the distance. I can't run, so we're going to walk unfortunately, but there's a pathway down to the shoreline there. We're going to head up though. Not fall down there.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
So, question is, chat, but do we go in the cave or do we go left? Like, which way do we go? Which way do we go? That's the question. I don't think I can go this way. Can I go this way? Okay. I think I can. Though it doesn't feel right to... Okay, no I can't. I can't go this way. Damn it. I guess I have to walk back now. God damn it. Well, just gonna have a little look down the shoreline for now. We'll have a look at this river there, so this sea bit. Seafront here. Who knows? Nice little fishing cage there. some wrong colour Coca-Cola. Interesting. Very interesting. What type of Coca-Cola is that? Like mint Coca-Cola. That would be an interesting drink. Actually sounds not bad, that. No, I don't know if I would have it. Oh, we've got a staircase up here. I'll go this way.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Interesting. Is there any way I can turn this audio up? Yes. Okay, no. Oh, well. How strange. That all these audio quotes are supposed to be randomly generated. Kind of mental. Managed to make a way around off that hole there and avoid the cave. I don't really fancy going in a cave right now. I'll go in there later though. Suppose I can make a way to that south tower if we can. Who knows?
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Interesting. Who's died? That's the question. It seems like what we're here to do is like to find out who's died. I'm not sure.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Oh. Interesting. Very interesting. So the person who died carved white powder into the cliffs there. Interesting. We shall move on to this path.
We are not like Lot's wife, you and I. We feel no particular need to turn back. There's nothing to be seen if we did. No tired old man parting the cliffs with his arms. No gifts or Bibles laid out on the sand for the taking. No tides turning or the shrieking gulls overhead. The bones of the hermit are no longer laid out for the taking. I have stolen them away to the guts of this island, where the passages all run to black, and where we can light each other's faces by their strange luminescence.
Interesting. Very interesting. I have no idea what it means, but great. Yes, we're still going to continue down this path though. There's a ship there in the distance. Oh, there's a cave heading into like a bigger cave. I wonder what we'll find. I can't run, unfortunately. This is the fastest I can go.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
I have no idea. That's why I'm playing it. The question is, do we go into the cave or do we go to the left? Where do we go? It's basically, well, it's like a story-driven game, but I'm not really sure as in terms of like, I don't know if there's a set goal or anything. That's what I'm trying to find out. Do we go into the cave or do we go around the cliff? Okay, cave it is then.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone.
Wow.
In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Kind of reminds me of like a lobster. Do you get the idea it looks like a lobster? Just to me, anyway. I don't think there's anything else in this cave, unfortunately. But, glad we checked it out. Definitely glad we checked it out. What paint we got here? I have no idea. Okay. How strange. Cool visuals though. Very cool, like a illuminated paint. Guess we'll go around the cliff then. Bird. Hello. Bird. Sounds like he's about to talk or something. Not sure. I've got a boat wreck there. I don't really know if we can go to it or not. I'm trying to make it over to this little radio tower over here. That's my goal. So I don't know exactly how far that is. Nice little stream there. Continue along this little path. See where I end up.
I've become convinced I am not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
That may be true. Maybe true. Okay, so we've got like a valley here. Don't know if there's any other directions we can go off in. I've just come from that way, so I'm not going to go that way. But that just leads back to the shoreline. This. Units 3, chemistry. Great. Go over on an island, and all you need is chemistry. I guess I need to know how to make fire with grass. Or maybe a radioactive grenade or something, I don't know. Continue up this path though. Music has changed. This is a bit worrying. I do kind of feel like there's something like following me, behind me. You know what I mean? Like, got that feeling to it. This is like, if I was ever in a trap or anything, this is like definitely the area where a trap would be held. Yeah, definitely a trap, because I can't come back up here. Loading.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay, so do we go right or do we go left? Which way do we go? I'm not sure. The left looks like it goes around the cliff. The right looks like it goes down towards that shipwreck. I don't know which way we should go though. Let me know, chat. Let me know. Which way do we go? You'll make the decision. And I don't know what will happen. I think we're gonna head right. Make our way down to the shipwreck. See what we got going on over here. Wind is blowing on this howling island, and I have no idea what this is, but just come on. Box. Got any new electronics in it? Sell them? Though I don't know who I'd sell it to. I'm on this island alone. I don't think there's any way up to the shipwreck. So I'm not sure. Could be. I do feel like there's like something watching me though. I don't like it can actually go on the shipwreck. Which is thing. Go around it. No, we can't. There's a barrier. Let's make a way. I think we can join the path up here onto the mountains. That's good. I don't know why, like, why it allows you to come down here for nothing. I thought there'd be some like text or something like saying like the ship was abandoned, left alone, something like that. I honestly don't know. We know that somebody's died on this island, that's for sure. That's one clue that we've got from the text. Somebody's died on this island. Let's make our way around this shoreline. Good path. Pressing. What is that? It's just one of those boys things. I wanted to go that way though. I wanted to. Oh wait, can we go that? Oh, now that's interesting. So, do we go around this cliff face, or do we go onto the radio tower? We're gonna head towards the radio tower. Didn't see that pathway over there though. Wait, is that the? I'm confused here. I need to look at this hill. See if that goes. Yeah, it does. Okay. Well, we're gonna head that way then. I didn't see that pathway there. We're gonna head towards the radio tower. That was our initial goal, and we'll stick with it. Damn. You're doing so good. Right.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Okay, so do we go down or do we go up? That is the question. I'm not sure. I think we go up though. So it does look like it goes into a big ditch. Wow. Okay, that's quite interesting. Might take a little peek at that then. There's a little house there.
What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss?
Wow.
How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
Do we jump in? That is the question. Let's go check out this house, and then you guys can decide if I should jump in or not. I think I know what you're going to say though. I think you're going to say jump in, but I'll leave it to vote. I'll leave it to vote.
I've begun to climb, away from the sea and towards the center. It is a straight line to the summit, where the evening begins to coil around the aerial and squeeze the signals into early silence. The bothy squats against the mount to avoid the gaze of the aerial. I too will creep under the island like an animal and approach it from the northern shore.
Somebody was injured here, by the looks of it. Or something was injured here. Who knows? Okay, interesting.
The bothy was
nice
constructed
house.
originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
So now we know that there was 2 people on the island and 1 person died. Now we know that the other person died, but they died earlier than the other person. What's that? Notice. A closure notice or something. Don't know. Check out the actual house. And this game is really hitting the chords. House here. Look inside here.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
Interesting. So, given history, let's look at that. Go to the next room. Here. Bed. Nice suitcase. Weird book I can't read. Nice fireplace. Little bird. Alright. I guess we continue on. We can either go down towards the cliffs side, or we can head up. I think we're going to head up though. Again, I'm going to make my way to this radio tower over there. There is a passageway through, I think. No, might not be actually. This. Tombstones. Died. Okay, I guess we will be going down towards the cliff then. Well, I had a choice, but I don't. I don't have a choice. Nice cliff there. Cave, sorry, I mean. Cliff. I mean, technically it is a cliff. Technically it is a cave. But yeah, let's head down. Sheesh. Man. Wind. Damn strong wind. Quite a long way down there. Quite a long way down. I think there is a pathway down here. It's not a very safe one.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Interesting. I really wanted to know that before I even... Just kidding. Okay.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose.
Wow.
His fingernails were raw and bitten to the quick. They found the phosphorescent moss that grows in the caves deep under the nails. Whatever he'd been doing under the island when his strength began to fail is lost. He'd struggled halfway up the cliff again, perhaps in a delirium, perhaps trying to reach the Bothy's fire before curling into a stone and expiring.
Interesting. Man, he was lost for 7 months. That's insane. So we've got some options here. We've got some caves and some other things to go looking. The question is...
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the Bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Okay, so he's injured. Whether this person is talking. Wow. That's cool. That's really cool. I guess. Oh, no. I didn't mean to go down. Okay, well. I have no choice now. Okay, I'm alive somehow. Can't see a thing.
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. I can hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Oh. We're alive. We're in some kind of cave now. Spooky. Spooky. Very, very cool to look at. Wow. Wow. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm in now. This is cool. Okay. Interesting. So we've got a pathway to the left here. I think we're probably going to come back out here.
They'd stopped the traffic back as far as the Sandford Junction and come up the hard shoulder like radio signals from another star. It took 21 minutes for them to arrive. I watched Paul time it to the second on his watch.
What on earth are these? I don't understand. What are they? Like blueprints of some kind, I'm not entirely sure. Around, back out we go. Really cool music though, will admit. Wow. Okay, this game just went from a 0 to a 10 in a matter of seconds. Wow, that is cool to look at. It's like a screensaver. That is awesome. Holy. Wow. Jeez, well, I guess there's no other way to go, is there? Here we go. So we can swim. There's nothing behind the waterfall, which there isn't. Okay. Up we go. This is so cool. This is absolutely amazing. The lighting in this game is very impressive. Like, reflections of the water in the cave is quite accurate. Very, very cool. Right, okay, here we go. Even further. It's the unknown. Okay, so we need to go left, we can go right. Okay, we can't go left. Go right though. Very, very, very nice. Wow. This is awesome. It's actually really cool, this game. Around here. And who knows where the story will take us on to next. All random candles. Like you can start talking soon as well. Who knows what's going to happen? Okay. Onwards and upwards, I guess. I'm not really sure where we're trying to get to here. But again, wow! Jesus.
In my final dream, I sat at peace with Jakobsen and watched the moon over the Sandford Junction. Goats grazed on the hard shoulder. A world gone to weed and redemption.
Wow.
He showed me his fever scars, and I mine. Between each shoulder, the nascency of flight.
Wow. This game, man, it's free, but it should be at £7 on Steam. We'll have a link in the description below. So we'll have a link. I will, probably should have put a link to it, but I will. Not sure. This game is just too beautiful to talk early. Onwards and upwards then. Wow. Talk about some visuals. Okay, these are cool. Oh, do we go left or go right? That's the question. Can we go left? No. Okay. Damn. Every time I try to go left, it doesn't work.
When I was coming round from the operation, I remember the light they shone in my eyes to check for pupil contraction. It was like staring up at a moonlit sky from the bottom of a well. People moved at the summit, but I could not tell if you...
Okay, interesting. What's down here? Anything in here? No. Okay. Here we go. How strange. Behold, dangerous. I can't understand that one. Oh dear, jeez, Lord. Who the heck has done this? What madman has done this? Jeez. Wow. What madman would do this? I feel like someone's gone crazy here. Away from being... What? Why from being the city? About city, I don't really know. But... don't know. So we'll continue on. Fall ahead. Waterfall. Don't say it. Wait. Oh, let's go around. Okay. No! Can't go around. Got it. What? Why does this remind me of the bridge from like Left 4 Dead? No, not Left 4 Dead, Walking Dead, I mean. Like, when it's coming into the city. What? This. Why are we here? Died and just gone to meet the fishies? No. Yeah, how strange. Very, very strange. How very, very strange. Alright. Very, very, very weird, this game. Well, we're out of that cave system, I believe. No, we're not. Another one. Wait. Thank you, sir. We are out, okay. We go left or we go right? Follow the candles or not? Follow the candles.
sat here and watched two jets carve parallel white lines into the sky. They charted their course, and I followed them for 21 minutes until they turned off near Sanford and were lost. If I were a gull, I would abandon my nest and join them. I would starve my brain of oxygen and suffer delusions of transcendence. I would tear the bottom from my boat and sail across the motorways until I reached this island once again.
How interesting. Oh, this music's copyright free. Oh, photos.
I returned home with a pocket full of stolen ash. Half of it fell out of my coat and vanished into the car's upholstery, but the rest I carefully stowed away in a box I kept in a drawer by the side of my bed. It was never intended as a meaningful act, but over the years it became a kind of talisman. I'd sit still, quite still for hours, just holding the diminishing powder in my palm and noting its smoothness. In time, we will all be worn down into granules, washed into the sea and dispersed.
Strange machine. Very strange machine. Okay. Then over here. That was pretty interesting. Over here we've got some orbits. Oh, range.
There were chemical diagrams on the posters on the walls on the waiting room. It seemed appropriate at the time. Still life abstractions of the processes which had already begun to break down your nerves and your muscles in the next room. I crammed diazepam as I once crammed for chemistry examinations. I am revising my options for a long and happy life.
Interesting. Building over here.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Interesting. You can't go in the water. Notice that. We go to that smoke soldier and do it. Oh, so we can go up the hill and we go where this building is. I think it's going to force us to go that way, but we'll check this building out first. on a sudden, I don't really know what that says. A light from heaven shone around him, and he fell to the ground. Okay, how strange, very strange. Well, this game is very strange. None of it really makes any sense, but in a weird way it does at the same time. Continue up this hill then. They could have added a little bit of like a
I will
run
drag my
feature.
leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Convince it, as in like. Interesting. Oh, what the hell's that? You see that? You see that on the hillside there? What is that? What is it? I swear, if I go around this corner, it's gone. What the hell is it? Is it? What the hell is that? What was alone on this island?
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation.
Where's
When
it
we
gone?
become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark,
gone.
we will come together.
It's gone! Where's it gone? There was literally some dude stood here. And as he was produced, can't pronounce that. On his journey. Proceeding on his journey, as he's proceeding on his journey. Okay. I swear there was somebody up there then. There definitely was. I'm not going crazy, chap. What's that? To say. And was come near to panic. And he was there. And there he was. He nor eat or drink.
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
Okay. Let's say. And at, I mean, the English doesn't really make sense here, but and to come far into, can't even pronounce them words, too far away. And to pass the time. I don't know. Building over here though, with a light inside. There was definitely a person up on that
The stones
bridge, though.
in my stomach will weigh me down and ensure my descent is true and straight. I will break through the fog of these godforsaken pills and achieve clarity. All my functions are clogged, all my veins are choked. If my leg doesn't rot off before I reach the summit, it will be a miracle. There are 21 connections in the circuit diagram of the anti-lock brakes. There are 21 species of gull inhabiting these islands. It is 21 miles between the Sandford Junction and the turn-off for home. All these things cannot, will not be a coincidence.
Interesting. Creepy at the same time. I'm going ahead and to come to pass time that has made, I can't really know what that says. Danger from authorized personnel only. Okay. As time join they, and they until you see. I don't really know what it's saying. Sorry. I nearly walked down to play back. Oh, quite high up now, actually. Very, very high up. Moments ago, we were down there. Wow. Cool though. Very cool picture of the moon. Look at that.
Blind with panic, deaf with the roar of the caged traffic, heart stopped on the road to Damascus, Paul sat at the roadside hunched up like a gull, like a bloody gull. As useless and as doomed as a syphilitic cartographer, a dying goat herd, an infected leg, a kidney stone, blocking the traffic bound for Sandford and Exeter. He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. All his roads and his tunnels and his paths led inevitably to this moment of impact. This is not a recorded natural condition. He should not be sat there with his chemicals and his circuit diagrams. He should not be sat there at all.
Okay. Damn, we are high up now. There was definitely a person on that mountain. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Made it to the radio station. What will happen?
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air.
What? Okay.
Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon, that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
End of the cliff, the top of the cliff. That was just climbed. Great. I'm a bird? I thought I was a human being. Wow. Very, very cool game. Very poetic. That's probably the correct term for this game. Light from heaven shine above. Ah, okay, that's what that's saying.
Come back.
Interesting. And there we go. There we go, peeps. Now there is another way to go in the game, so let me know if you want to see another like episode of this, because like I said, there was the cave right at the beginning which we didn't go into. But yeah, very poetic game. Thank you for watching. Did like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you are wanting to see more of this in the future. Big shout out to these people who made it. Thank you for watching. My name's Ryan. I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess.